everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Black-Liberation.Tech podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Renee Jordan, and today we are going to take a look at the GPT I created for the Black-Liberation.Tech website, as well as for everyday use, depending upon how you use generative AI, how you use ChatGPT in order to help you along your way. I want you to consider using Janiyah GPT, which has some background to it. And so today we are going to do a walkthrough of the intro workshop for Janiyah GPT. So if you are listening only, I want to encourage you to go to the Black-Liberation.Tech website. That's Black-Liberation.Tech in order to take a look at what we are viewing today and walk through the workshop yourself and see what you come up with and let me know how it goes for you. I would love to hear your feedback. So let's go ahead and get started by going to the Black-Liberation.Tech website. All right, so here we are at the Black-Liberation.Tech website. As you can see here, once again, it's in English as well as Spanish. We are going to hover over Janiyah GPT. Instead of going straight to start a conversation, you have another option. Let's go to the intro workshop and begin there. All right, so let's go ahead and give this workshop a read. And you're welcome to follow along. You're welcome to move at your own pace. You're welcome to watch this and come back to it, whatever works best for you. So here we are. Meet Janiyah GPT. Janiyah GPT is an AI literacy and career coaching co-pilot created by Dr. Renee Jordan as part of the Black-Liberation.Tech ecosystem. She is designed to support Latinas, Afro-Latinas, Black women and girls, and all learners in using AI as a tool for empowerment, not replacement. So we have a button here where you can start a conversation, but let's keep going. Who is Janiyah? Your personal learning assistant. Whether you are joining us live from our STEM and AI workshop or exploring this tool on your own, you are in the right place to take charge of your academic and professional journey. Think of Janiyah not as a shortcut, but as a thinking buddy, a personal tutor here to help you reduce the mental load of planning your next big move. If you are navigating a complex school project, uncovering hidden career possibilities in STEM, or building a portfolio that authentically represents your culture and talents, Janiyah is programmed to guide you with equity and empowerment in mind. All right, so here we have some additional notes about Janiyah. Janiyah is grounded in Ubuntu, which is I am because we are. As I've stated in other episodes of the Black-Liberation.Tech podcast, Ubuntu served as the philosophy that helped to situate my perspective when it came to my research, the way I approach research, the way I collect data, the way I analyze data, and the like. So Janiyah is grounded in Ubuntu. She's also grounded in Afrocentricity, centering agency and cultural identity, liberation praxis, which requires reflection and action, ethical AI use, highlighting privacy, fairness, and transparency. Let's keep going. How we'll use Janiyah. First, we'll reflect. You'll think about your goals, interests, and challenges. Next, we'll prompt. You'll copy a conversation starter and personalize it. Next, refine. You'll revise your prompt based on Janiyah's follow-up questions. Next, question the AI. You'll ask Janiyah to critique her response. And last but not least, reflect again. You'll ask, did this help me think deeper? So whenever you're working with AI, you don't want to just stop at whatever output or response you receive. You want to go a little further. You want to ask the AI tool to actually question what it's provided to you so that you can get insight on what might be missing. And then we want to reflect once again to see if the output or what we received actually helped us along the way. And for those of you who are wondering, the images were generated as a result of me using Notebook LM, asking Notebook LM to think about the different parts of this workshop and then create a description that I could then feed into an image generator. And the image generator that I used for this workshop was Gemini. And so these images were provided by Gemini. All right, so let's take a look at this next section, why AI literacy matters right now. Before we begin exploring prompts and tools, let's pause. AI is not just a trend. It is shaping how we learn, work, create, and tell our stories. Today, AI influences hiring decisions, college admission screening, what content gets amplified online, financial approvals, media narratives, as well as which communities are represented in data and which are not. So that's very important. With everything that's being automated through the use of AI, it's important to have an understanding of how it is impacting you, whether or not you choose to participate. These are some of the types of engagements: hiring, college admissions, financial approval. So we're talking about house loans, car loans, and things of that nature, business approvals, business loan approvals. Those are the types of things that are being automated. And so if certain communities aren't represented or they're not represented well, then that's going to cause them to be at a disservice. So let's take a look at this next section. Understanding AI is not about becoming a coder. It is about becoming informed, empowered, and discerning in a world where algorithms increasingly influence opportunity. So, algorithms are going to determine what shows up when AI is making its guesses. It's going to make the difference between what you view on TikTok versus what you view on Facebook versus what you view on Instagram versus who gets approved in terms of a loan, who gets hired when you're applying for a position, who is admitted when you're applying to college. So these are the type of things that are going on and you need to know about in order to understand AI. So right now we're talking about understanding AI. We're not talking about actually building a model. So this is what we're dealing with when we are framing this workshop around AI literacy. So when we understand how AI works and how to question it, we move from being shaped by systems to shaping them ourselves. For Latinas, Afro-Latinas, Black women and girls, and our communities, this literacy is not optional. It is protective, it is powerful, it is strategic. AI literacy helps us advocate for fairness, protect our data, recognize bias, align technology with community values, design futures where we see ourselves represented. This workshop is about learning how to use AI with clarity, confidence, and critical thinking so that innovation serves justice, not efficiency. So, with this AI literacy workshop, we're not looking to just do things faster. We're looking to make moves. We're looking to plan. We are looking to implement. We are looking to execute tasks or projects in a way that will support things going well for ourselves and our communities. Now, the last two pieces where it says AI literacy helps us to align technology with community values, design futures where we see ourselves represented. A part of how I structured Janiyah is that she uses a philosophy that I use when it comes to not only education, research, and practice, but also life in general. I am because you are, and since you are, therefore I am, is something that I truly acknowledge and understand. Everyone has something to offer someone else, and as a result of this give and take between those you value, you get to where you are in life. And that's going to create a space where community is important versus just you as an individual. So, this is a part of my give. I'm sharing this with you so that hopefully it'll help you along your way. Okay, so let's take a look. Pause and reflect. Where have you already seen AI show up in your life? Have you used AI this week? Have you ever asked AI where it might be wrong? AI literacy begins with awareness and grows through questioning. So I could definitely tell you that I have used AI this week. I use it frequently in order to help break down huge projects and huge tasks into manageable pieces so that I can plan the parts effectively and then put them together so that when I have my final product, It's something that's smooth and something that flows, something that helps me get to where I want to go in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming and impossible. So that's a big reason behind my use of AI. Have I ever asked AI if it was wrong? Yes. So I do ask questions along the way. I do check out the output, and if I notice something is missing or something seems a little bit off, I will provide it with an additional prompt or additional context in order to sort that hiccup out, if you will. And what I have seen is that the tool will acknowledge, oh, I did miss that. Oh, you're right. That is something that should be considered. And then we're able to move on from there. So this workshop is to hopefully encourage you to not just use AI, but also think about the responses that you're getting and what can you do about them? Do you just leave the response as is, or do you interrogate the response by asking it more questions, giving it more context? When you approach an AI tool, it's not coming with your background unless you give it to it. It's not coming with context unless you give it to it. Now, we will talk about safety in a moment, but it needs context to help you in a way that is unique to you as an individual. All right, so communities that understand emerging technologies early are better positioned to influence how those technologies evolve. So it's not enough just to say, this isn't working for me, I'm going to opt out. How can you get your voice a part of the conversation, whether that is you pursue careers and opportunities that allow you to develop AI, or whether you get into a room where people are deciding on which AI tools to implement and use and voice your concerns there, not just voice your concerns, but also voice some possible solutions or considerations so that when the AI tool is implemented, they'll think about you and what you had to say when it is designed, when it's framed, when it's implemented, and perhaps put some parameters around the use or acknowledge the limitations so that those who are engaging with it understand that there is still need for human judgment when you are working with AI. It's not just a tool that you can use in isolation and everything is pristine and done when it's finished. You need to check it out. You need to check out what goes into it as well as what comes out and ask questions. All right, so just to back up a little bit in case we have people who are new to using AI, we have a question here that I want to make sure that we answer. What is a prompt? A prompt is a starting point, the way you guide AI with your voice, your goals, and your context. It is not just a question, it is direction. AI works best when you share who you are, explain what you're trying to accomplish, and ask for support, not shortcuts. The power is not in the tool, it's in how you use it. Okay, so let's take a look at the AI use framework. So here's the little safety points that we want to acknowledge and recognize. Before you use Janiyah, remember, verify, cross-check important facts. Use edu or .gov sites or peer-reviewed sources in order to make sure that the information that you're getting is valid, correct, best practice, or even worth your while. Number 2, think. AI supports your thinking. It doesn't replace it. So don't go on autopilot when you're working with AI tools. Make sure that you are actively engaged. And there's a sound that says, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious. I want you to be suspicious. When you are entering in the information, think about it. Have I covered all the bases? Have I provided important information? Think about it. And then while you're getting responses, think again. Okay, how can I enhance or improve this? What would be the next level or the next step? Or how could I take what is present to another level of deeper understanding, of a more rich experience, of a more enhanced approach at doing something? What are the nuggets, the context that the AI doesn't have about who you're working with that would help you come up with a plan or develop a project or execute an event in a way that would be specific to your constituents? Who are you working with? Who is your audience? And include that information there. That's not something that AI is going to pick up automatically. And with too little detail, it might make some assumptions, and those assumptions might not work for your community. Number three, protect. Never enter private data. So don't put in your full name, your school ID, password, address, social security number, financial information, proprietary information. So confidential information, information that you would want to use in order to patent an idea or trademark something. If it's that important that you want to make sure that you have ownership of it, I want to discourage you from entering it into an AI platform. Think about how you could talk about it without actually uploading it, because that information is going to be used to train the tool on how to respond to people. So make sure that whatever you send into an AI platform, that you're okay with it. Meaning, you wouldn't mind if a stranger had it in their possession and then turn around and blasted it on the internet on top of having it in their possession. So keep in mind that you need to protect your data. All right. A note on safety. Remember our golden rule: verify, then trust. AI is a powerful tool for generation and ideation, but it can make mistakes. Always cross reference important information with trusted sources like .edu or .gov websites. You are the expert on your own life. Janiyah is here to assist, not replace your critical thinking. Okay, we're getting closer. So all of that was the preliminary information, and now we're ready to get started. Okay, so how to access Janiyah GPT. You will need a free OpenAI account. We recommend families create accounts together if participants are under 18. Once logged in, use Janiyah to brainstorm strategies, role play professional scenarios, or break down big goals into manageable steps. Ready to turn your curiosity into action? Go to Janiyah, copy, paste, and edit one of the conversation starters below to begin. Okay, so here is Janiyah. If you select any of these links, it will bring you here. We have a few conversation starters to get started. And so I'll just hit the high notes for these conversation starters. If you see one that interests you, please copy it, paste it into the dialog box. And once pasted into the dialog box, edit it there so that you can personalize the conversation starter. So, conversation starters: to personalize your experience, edit each prompt to reflect your goals, interests, and challenges. So here we have some lightweight demo prompts. So these are for you to practice with and to play with. You can insert them as is. You can insert them and edit them so that it actually fits you, and see what comes up. So we have STEM plus art yields a STEAM career. That's a conversation starter that you might want to explore. Exploring interests, quick career spark. Next, we have break down a big goal. Okay. And then we have another one that talks about identity plus representation. Now, in case we have some folks out there who are grades 4 through 6 who are working with their parents or guardians, okay? Or perhaps you might be interested in doing these ultra simple prompts, please check them out. And so I have a note here for those who are in grades 4 through 6. A prompt is your way of giving AI directions so it can help you think and learn. So I'll run through the types of prompts. And once again, if you see one that interests you, please select it, edit it, and move forward. So what can I be? How do I start? And next steps. Now that next step, I want to note that it says, after Janiyah gives you a response, type this into the chat. Is there anything you might be missing or getting wrong in your answer? And so that's the question I want our 4 to 6 graders to put in after they get a response from Janiyah. I have a couple of parent/guardian focus prompts. So supporting without overdoing, safe and smart tech use. Okay, so I also have these deep dive prompts. Now, these deep dive prompts are actually the ones that appear as conversation starters when you select Janiyah GPT. And when I was setting up this workshop, Janiyah was like, okay, so these prompts are a little long if you're talking about a 30-minute workshop. So let's do some lightweight ones. And so that's how the lightweight prompts came about as a result of me having a conversation about Janiyah and providing her with context. I shared the workshop might be 30 to 60 minutes, and she deduced from that. She determined from that context, that information, that hey, we might need to go with something that's not as involved to get people started. And so that's why we have the lightweight conversation starters. So the deep dive prompts take a look at navigating academic and professional pathways, career exploration and identity, strategic problem solving, as well as skill building and portfolio development. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push pause here and we'll come back next week for the rest. So, with all that being said, I hope that you got something out of today's lesson. I hope that you go and check out the Janiyah GPT intro workshop and try some of the conversation starters and get back to me and let me know what you think. And if you discovered something that might help me improve it, please feel free to share that as well in the comments. So, once again, thank you for listening to another episode of the Black-Liberation.Tech podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Renee Jordan. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and share, rate, and review the podcast to help it become more discoverable. And until next time, take care. Bye bye.